Welcome, everyone, to podcast number 28, All About Money, Part 2. Woo. I've got some wild orange and let's see oil here. I'm manifesting money for you all and for us all so that we can share it beautifully across the universe. So, if this is the first time you're hearing about money with me, I invite you to go to podcast number 27, the one before this, just so you can get the introduction into money. But there's so much things I can talk to you about money. Obviously, I'm still learning. I'm just in my first year of real growth and focusing on money. So I have some notes here to keep me on track. So in the first part of the show, if you're watching it on YouTube, I did show you my home for money. And I promised to bring my old one. So I found my old one. You can see it's looking pretty scrappy. For those of you listening in on the podcast, it's really just a card holder where you put some cards in there, and then there's a little zipper pocket where you put the coins. And so it was really interesting when I did that exercise is what is your home for money, right? Can you see how there's no space for cash? There's no space for growth. It's not screaming abundance, right? At all in any way, shape or form. So then we got my new wallet. So for those of you playing along at home on YouTube, you can see this beautiful thing here. This is where all my cash lives. So we open that up there and you can see you can hear some coins in there, and there's my cash. Oh, how's the camera work there? It's my cash in there. And then that sits inside the actual home of the wallet where my cards are. You can see in there's no old receipts tipping out. Like I haven't cleaned this for the show. There's no old receipts coming out. I've got a couple of lipsticks in on one side. And my bookmark, which is my business card, a few of those on the other, right? So if you'd like a bookmark, just reach out to me, DM me. I'd love to send you a few. So this is my new home for money. So can you see I wish you could smell and feel it because it smells and feels amazing, both of them. But so I just want you to think about your homes for money. So this one versus this one, like which one feels more abundant? The little card holder where you can only put coins in that's falling apart, or this luxury over here? You definitely start to see what a home for money really feels like. And each time you hold that purse, how abundant that feels. And when you fill it with the amount of money that you want to earn each week, that's when the real things change. So I'm going to talk to you today about your upper and lower limits. So I know all of you do have an upper and lower limit. Okay, so I want you to think about that. There's an amount of money in your bank that once it gets up to a little level, imagine like a petrol in your car, it gets above, the full line. For me, I just drive my car until it's empty. So I'm working on that. Well, it's actually my husband's car because I sold mine. But imagine like the upper limit is your the top of the tank or your bank account, right? There's a time when it's you've got a limit where you got a fair bit of money in the bank and you feel good and you go a little bit loose and you buy a nicer coffee or a nicer this, or you take yourself out for lunch, or you buy a nice bottle of champagne, or whatever your thing is, right? And then there's a time where your bank account gets below like a certain limit and you tighten it up. You start looking at where you can save. Oh, can I hold off buying that till next month? Maybe if you have a business, you're checking in with clients, checking all the payments are in making sure your invoices are out, checking that, seeing where you can make adjustments, those kind of things. That's where your lower limit is. So for all of us, there will be different upper and lower limits. The interesting thing, though, is that you will have yours, your lower limit and your upper limit, and it would just go up and down in between there. And sometimes we have little peaks and sometimes we have little troughs, but we just stay in this upper and lower limit. So what we want to do is raise the upper and lower limit. So I remember when I was a trainee, like having anything more than $50 in my purse was amazing. And if I had half a tank of petrol, it was just like, splurge time. And anything less than $50 would be a drama, right? So anything $100 plus would be like happy days. Now my upper limit is so much more higher. So you've got mortgages, bills, all these other things you need to pay. So your upper limit is higher, and then you have, money for restaurants and those kind of things, and where you splurge a bit. So we all have like an upper and lower limit, right? So what we want to do is just get really clear today on what is your lower and upper limit. What is that amount in your bank that when you see it drop below that, you start to go, oh, crumbs, I better tighten up the belt? Or when it's that amount that once you have above that, you go, I've got whatever $100, whatever $1,000, whatever $1 million. Like, I'm not sure what your upper limit is, but you will have an upper and lower limit. So just identify now, take a moment to identify what's your lower and upper limit. And then what we want to do is raise that standard. So once you've got your upper and lower limit, I want you to ask yourself, what will my upper limit be 1 year from now? What will that be? Yeah. What will my lower limit be 1 year from now? So let's raise the bar. Interestingly, when I did this exercise, I've just dug out my old notes here. I found something out really cool, and this might be happening for you too. So my lower limit was $50, and then my upper limit was $500. Yeah. That was fine. But then I realized, oh, that's only in my savings account. And then my business account has an upper and lower limit. And then in my wallet, I have an upper and lower limit. So if I get less than whatever, dollars cash in my wallet, suddenly I realize I don't have enough. And if I have more than this amount in my wallet, I feel challenged. Oh, I've got a bit too much cash in here. I need to put it away, right? Can't even believe I'm saying that now. So I had an upper and lower limit for my own little savings account, for my business account, for my wallet, and for my house expenses as well. So suddenly I realized not only am I controlling one upper and lower limit, and I use the word controlling because I'm doing that over multiple accounts. So how could I even really get clear on what my upper and lower limit is and raise my standards? So the first thing I needed to do is consolidate everything into one. What is my one upper and lower limit? So you might have accounts everywhere and they have different upper and lower limits. If you can, feeling into knowing what your upper and lower limit is and how are you going, like what is your standard? 1 year from now, what is going to be my next upper and lower limit? And then we work on a plan to get there, right? So I'm going to show you, teach you how to do that. So as I said, I'm still learning and growing. I'm focusing on this daily. So I have some notes here. So let's look at that. Number one is to do the work. Now, to do the work, I don't mean on the money. I mean on yourself. So your self-worth is so important. If you're one of my clients or you've listened to my other podcasts, you'll hear me talk about morning rituals, gratitude practice, doing the work, going through the emotions, working on self-worth, releasing negative emotions, working through your fears, like doing all the work and really getting to the crux of knowing your full worth, knowing, your true worth, your self-love, all that kind of work, because the money will come in aligned to your vibration and what you truly think that you deserve, what you are worthy of. So first thing we need to do is do the work on ourselves. Yeah. So we're working on ourselves. Second thing we need to do, which we've talked about before, is start to raise your standard. Raise your standard in all the areas of your life that you can. So your home for your money. What does that look like? What is your next upper limit? Knowing your numbers, those kind of things. Like raise your standards around money. Take yourself to the next level. Second one is surrounding yourself with people who are more aligned to your upper limit. Okay, so if you are surrounding yourself with people that have no value to money, are not respecting money, are not loving money, and they're influencing you in your time, you're less likely to achieve your upper limit. So you want to surround yourself with people who are aligned to your upper limit. Yeah. Surround yourself with those. Third one is mind your language. This scarf's making me a bit itchy here. I'm going to let it go. So free. The next one is mind your language. So your words around money, that I can't afford it, money doesn't grow on trees. Really, really start to mind your language. I actually sing to money, with money. There's lots and lots of money songs I can share with you. So that's how I really influenced my language with money, with firstly with songs and getting that into the pattern, and then thinking and reframing about how I talk to money and about money. Number 4, know your numbers. Know your numbers. Know what's coming in and know what's going out. For a long time, I didn't know my numbers. I talked about that in podcast number 1, but every day I'm checking my accounts. I'm seeing what's coming in, what's going out. I'm connecting with the flow. I'm giving gratitude for the flow. I'm talking to myself about abundance, opening myself up for that. And I can't do that without knowing my numbers. So I encourage you to know your numbers. And number 5, when you've done all that, just go back to focusing on continual growth. Yeah. What's my next step? What's my next leap? How do I raise my upper limit? And we just keep growing, keep moving your upper limits up. Yeah. Minding your habits around spending, noticing what you're doing with your money, noticing your language, loving on money. And I have no doubt that you will be able to transition your own money story and your own abundance. So if you want to go out and call it, I invite you to go into my Evolve community. It's one of my groups. It's a private group where I have like over 500 guests in there. We're all working towards evolving. I encourage you to put your next upper limit in there and share it, declare it now, claim it with the world and the universe. And if it's divinely yours, it shall be yours. So take care. God bless. I hope today's session around money has been really valuable. I'm so happy to connect with you, answer questions. So yeah, just direct message me. And I look forward to serving you and bringing you the topic next week. Take care. God bless.